So this keeps coming up with my patrons. As you guys know, over on Patreon, if you're one of the top tier subscribers, I allow you to send me videos and I will give you critiques of what I see and give you some prescriptive instructions to try to help fix what I perceive as spaces where you're lacking in any given area. One thing that keeps coming up is my students wanting to pop higher, and that's going to be the subject of today's video. So one thing about popping higher before I get into the meat of this is that you're not going to be able to pop higher consistently with, let's say, an ollie if you have bad form. For instance, if when you're trying to squat, you're struggling to stay balanced, and if you're popping up and then pushing your legs down really quickly, you're not ready to worry about popping higher. You have to find a good balance where you're able to squat and you're able to keep yourself and your board stable. You're able to pop and lift your knees up, and to the best of your ability, allow gravity to push you back down to the ground. So if you're not there yet, go and work on that portion and then come back to this video. Now we'll get into the meat of the video. So the video examples I'm gonna provide, they're all gonna be of me popping onto and over obstacles. And the reason for that is using an obstacle tends to make it easier for you to reach the upper limits of your pop ability. It's much harder for me to pop my highest when I'm doing it with nothing to worry about getting over or onto, and that's always been the case. So I was able to ollie up onto a picnic table, one of the LA picnic tables, after skating for only 3 months. But when I would try to ollie that high without an obstacle, my ollie would be much lower. So I discovered that early on, and I've always used that to aid in popping up higher. And when I kind of transitioned into this late stage of my skateboarding where pop is the main feature of the things that I do, I did that using obstacles. I've talked about it before, so I won't get into the entire story of how pop became my main focus, but just know that I do go over that subject in different videos. But what I'm going to talk about today is how if you have your technique right and your pop is good, there's one thing that you should add. So if you watch the video examples that I provide, I want you to notice that before each and every one of these squats, I'm pushing up onto my toes, right? I do that and then I squat down. And the reason that I do that is because you have to get the power to pop from someplace, right? Which is why we squat down in the first place. But the thing is, that's not all of the power that you can get. So by pushing up onto your toes and then coming down quickly, you're actually multiplying the amount of power you have to push into the tail, which is going to allow you, along with good timing, which is why I stress that you should have your technique down first before trying to pop higher, that it's going to allow you to push a lot more of that into the board and then use how quickly and how vigorously you get the tail down to pull it up towards your chest, right? Now, you're only going to be able to make use of this if you have proper technique. I'm going to stress this over and over in the video. And with that being said, if you are struggling with your technique and you want to get better, consider joining my Patreon. Over there, I've talked about how the top tier patrons get to send me their videos or have a monthly monthly video session with me, either over FaceTime, Zoom, or whichever platform you choose. And also how you can send me your video clips and I will critique them. Now, people ask me to critique their videos in the comments all the time. If you want my feedback, you're gonna have to join the Patreon. There's a lot of people who've been very happy with the results we've been able to achieve. That's all I'm going to say about that. You can also buy me a coffee if you want to support. You can also subscribe here on YouTube. I've been making the Q&As that we do with the patrons available on YouTube. So if it's easier for you to become a member there, that's also available. Let's get back into the video. So I'm going to keep stressing proper technique and just how important that is. But if you are able to start pushing yourself up onto your toes before you squat down, that's going to help you tremendously because you're going to have a lot more power that you're transferring down into the board. Now, The other thing that I'm going to stress is that you want everything to happen quickly. So the videos are going to be slow mode so that you can see that I'm pushing up onto my toes and see how that chain that I'm creating works. But the thing that brings it all together is how quickly I do it, right? Because if you're stopping and pausing at any point, whenever you stop and pause, you're stopping that power from transferring. And when you stop it, that means you're dividing the power that you're going to be putting down into your board, and it ruins the entire chain. So the main two takeaways that I want you to have from this video are that if you're trying to pop higher, first you need to have your technique down. And I have tons of videos about technique that you can search for a variety of tricks, and those should help you get your technique up. 2, you want to be pushing yourself up onto your toes and then squatting down, right? And 3, you want this all to take place quickly. The quicker you're able to accomplish pushing up, squatting down, popping, lifting your knees up to your chest, the more explosive your movement's gonna be. Now, the 4th thing before I get out of here, because I want this video to be relatively short, is that this is not gonna happen quickly, because it's essentially like you're learning these tricks over. And the thing about getting good at skating, right? And what I consider good is being able to express yourself with the skateboard. Seeing an obstacle or seeing a sequence of obstacles and being able to pick and choose a route, what you do, being able to mix it up to suit how the distance between the obstacles, the terrain that you're on, right? A good skater is someone who's able to adapt and have multiple tools so that they can express themselves on a given obstacle, right? That's all it means to me. By doing that, you're able to have more fun. The more things you can land, the more you enjoy yourself. That's how it works for me. I'm pretty sure that's how it works for everyone. It's self-explanatory. After a while of trying something over and over and over again, you start to fatigue, you start to exceed your mental bandwidth, and also you start to just deplete your physical reserves as well. So if you're able to land more things more quickly, you're able to enjoy yourself more. If it's different for you, you're probably an outlier. In order to get good, that means you're gonna have to learn things once, and you're gonna learn them one way, and then you're gonna have to learn them again, and you might even have to learn them a 3rd time. And I've done a series called Levels. I've done it on kickflips and heel flips. I forget the other tricks that I've done it on, and it just kind of explains my experience with learning them as a beginner, relearning them when I got a little bit better, and then mastering them so that I can kickflip into a backside tail slider, into a crooked grind, into a back lip, into a front lip, into a Smith grind, kickflip up a 5-stair, kickflip, down a big set of stairs. So there's different levels you're gonna have to learn these tricks at. And if you've seen, I'll put an example of the kickflip in this video, where if you've seen where I kickflip over high things, and I always get the comment where people are like, it's like you ollied and then you did a kickflip. Yes, it is, and that's like the final form of your kickflip, right? Like, that's when you're able to do that, when people see it as you doing 2 separate tricks in one, that's when you know that you've reached the top level of that kickflip. And that takes a whole lot of time, a whole lot of reps. So the reason that I'm sharing that final portion with you is because a lot of people try something in one session, and then because they don't accomplish it in one session, they think they're not able to do it. But the people who are able to actually master something are people that when they try it once and it doesn't work, that doesn't discourage them. They go back, they rest up, and they get ready to attempt it again and again and again and again and again, because you have to be a psychopath to get good at skating, right? Everything is pretty much set up against you. It's very difficult. There are so many different ways that you can control this toy that we play with. You're also having to manipulate your weight, your posture, and all of those things make this one of the most difficult things to master, which is why it's so much fun anyway. That's all I got. Hopefully this helps a lot of you out. I'm going to stress again that if you're trying to do this, you need to make use of the unique situation you're in, which is that it's 2025 and every single one of you who's watching this, I can almost be sure you have a high definition camera in your pocket. So make use of that, film yourself, and make sure that you're doing every step of the trick properly. It's so easy for you guys compared to how it was when I was growing up. Because even when I was filming all the time, I didn't get to see that clip until someone logged that tape. And they might take a month, they might take longer, especially when I wasn't as good and I was filming with non-professional filmers, right? It's not a priority of theirs to go and transfer that footage and go and log the clips. So I might not see it for 3 months. And then when I do see it, I might see it once in a sequence of clips because we've been filming for months. And then I might not see it again for a year. There's some clips that I never saw again. So you guys all have a great advantage towards everyone who embarked on this journey up till about 15 years ago. And you need to use that to your advantage because technology is your friend in certain ways. In other ways, it's not, right? As far as being able to focus and lock in, minimizing distractions. I understand that that's also a factor. It's like an inverted U-curve. But that's all I got. Hit that Patreon if you really want to get in depth with me, or if you want those Q&As, you can also subscribe here. Check out my brand, Collage Skateboards, www.collagesskateboards.com. We got new graphics coming out, and they're amazing, if I may say so myself. Peace.